I'm never tired.
What it do, YouTube? G1 again, back with another one. Topic of today, let me talk about the Zen shit today. I don't think I did a video on that. What is Zen, right? So, if anybody wondering, I'm at the gym. Well, I just left the gym. I'm in the car right now. But I want to talk about like the Zen shit, you know what I'm saying? Because it ain't really something that you could really like, it's not something you could really put into words. It's like only a feeling. And if you know, you know. That's like really, I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I can though. And like how that shit actually attracts a lot more shit that you want in your life way quicker. It's literally happening to me right now. But lately I'm gonna say I started like 3 weeks ago. I started like doing this stop. Like letting my thoughts, like I kind of put my thoughts in like its own category. Like my thoughts to me now is kind of like a little brother or sister or some shit. They gonna talk, you know what I'm saying? They gonna talk. You just don't pay them no mind. That's how I've been treating my thoughts lately, like. And I kind of been, see, this is the tricky part because it's hard to describe like what it is. I feel like Zen, from my experience, it's like it might be different for everybody, but you know how you have thoughts and they always talking, but you get to a point where when you just starting it, it's like you silence it. You can silence it, like if you know how to. But I'm at that point, and I only been like really tapping into the Zen shit like every day for the last 2 weeks. I had one day, it wasn't really crazy. It was just like, damn, like I was driving, and then like I could kind of, for me, I could tap in and out of it by will. Like I could get in and out of it like whenever I want to. And I was driving, and like my mind was talking. But then it just stopped because it got tired of talking. And I know that it was because it got tired of talking because I felt it. Because, you know, it's not really going to tell you I'm tired of talking. It's just going to stop, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just stopped talking because it was tired of talking. And, like, it was, like, quiet. Like, quiet. Like, Zen is basically what you see is where you are. It's kind of like you become the observer, like. Because you got your mental aspect, and then you got, which is your thoughts and shit, like right and wrong, time, like shit, you know, categories. That's basically what it is. Like the mental is categories. And then you got, like the Zen shit is kind of like is. Like me being Zen would be me, like, I'm here in the car right now, and I'm just like in like the moment, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard to describe. Like it's very hard to describe, but it's like when you get in it, it's like when you get in it enough, it's really not about controlling your thoughts. It's about, can you get into Zen? Because I feel like the more you get into Zen, your mind gonna naturally start to get quieter and quieter and quieter. It's like you gotta know how to use your mind and when to use it. Like me now, I let my mental speak whenever I'm trying to solve a problem about myself. Once I figure that problem out, I could usually get a solution for whatever problem I have in about an hour and 30, or maybe 30 minutes of me talking to me. And I usually get it like that. And you know, manifestations and shit, you let it. Me personally, like if it's anything I ever want in life, I usually write it, and I usually say what it is, and then I usually like naturally let it go. I don't force. It's just naturally I let it go. And I think right now, I've been doing the Zen shit for, I guess, in my mind a little while. So I could naturally like let go of thoughts. Like, shit. Thoughts, for me, they kind of shut themselves up. It's not really something I gotta control no more. It just knows, my mental just knows when to be quiet. It knows when to be quiet. Like I'm doing this video right now, and like I'm really speaking like just out of like my experience right now. I'm not even thinking about none of the shit I'm saying. It's just coming. You know what I'm saying? That's what Zen is. This is what Zen is. And the more you get into it, the less you speak, I find. Because me personally, like when I'm in Zen, I usually get into Zen and I kind of turn it on when I'm ever driving and shit. Usually whenever I'm not driving, you know, I'll get back into life a little bit, not really letting my thoughts run me and shit. But I kind of just, you know, get more back into it. But like, hey, like, I think the benefits of like Zen though, is like, I know I touched on it a little bit, but like manifestations and shit. It's like, make your intention of what you want, and then just like, while mentally being there, and then jump into the Zen, like, be like, yo, like, I want a 69 Dodge Charger, and I know I'm gonna get this shit in my 20s. Say that, then hop into Zen. Like, you know it's gonna come, so you just, it's like a very patient feeling, like very patient, very peaceful, like feeling like, it's like you know it's coming, so why worry, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what Zen truly is, for real. And I use that shit now, I use it a lot. But I know when I'm not in it, and I know when I'm in it. I know when I'm not in it, and I know when I'm in it. You can feel it. You got to get experience with it though. I know everybody like try to make videos about what Zen is, but it's not really something you could really ever really describe. It's like once y'all get there, then you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about. And the crazy part is, Zen is something that's been there. It's something that you tap into from time to time, but you don't realize it because you don't even know what to call that shit. You think you're just calm, but it's like, I think that's what the Zen shit really truly is. Though it's just calm, like no thoughts, no negativity, no positivity. You just are. You just exist. You know what I'm saying? It's like no concepts. The only concepts that's created is from the mind. And me personally, based off of like me doing this shit, I'm gonna throw something out. I'm gonna throw you what I think life really is. I think the mental or the Zen shit, soul, whatever you want to call it, I think it was the creator of like your life. And I feel like the mental will get bored of just being, so it creates shit. Like it creates like yes and no, like different scenarios, like this and that. Like the mind creates shit. It's not really the soul. You know what I'm saying? More shit goes to the soul because it really don't give a fuck, but the mind is putting shit out there, and then I feel like the soul like looks at certain thoughts, because I mean, you technically are an observer of your thoughts. I feel like you're looking at all these thoughts, and then you pick which ones you want. Like, oh, okay, well I'm gonna capitalize on that. Oh, I'm gonna use that, and let me bring this into, because it's like thoughts are like constant. It's almost like, it's like if you had unlimited wishes, right? I feel like the observer is kind of like the leader, I guess. And it's like it watches your thoughts all day. It's like your thoughts are screens everywhere, right? It's like you watching your own thoughts, right? That's what Zen is. And I feel like you get to pick, like, oh, well, let me use this, or like I'm gonna use that. I'm not gonna really pay attention to all these other thoughts, but these are useful. You know what I'm saying? I think thoughts is like air. I feel like it's because you ever looked at it like it's kind of weird how like certain people that don't really know each other could like get the same thoughts in the same area. I feel like it's like in the air. It's like in the wavelengths. It's like, you know, thoughts. I feel like that's how that shit work. But me doing this shit now is like, you know, I'm finding a lot out about my life doing like the Zen shit now. And I'm aware of it. And I know I've been at it, but like now I'm using it, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, this shit could be dangerous though. I feel like the reason why it could be dangerous is because I feel like the observer really truly don't give a fuck about none of this shit that's going on. Like none of this shit matters. I think that's what I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, I think that's what like the observer is like, I think that's what it is. It's like none of this shit really matters. There's always gonna be an end or a beginning to everything, so why trip? You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's what the feeling is. That's what the feeling is. But it's kind of like it's like really like more of like a blessing though than a curse. Depending on how you look at it. Cause me, I know how to use it. I know when to turn it on and when to turn it off. Like if I ever want to go back into my laboratory, like my thoughts and shit, and grab something out and bring it here, That's how you do it. You just gotta be aware that you like observing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of, I could be corny as fuck and be like, everybody else on YouTube, oh, you are not your thoughts. But I'm not gonna say that shit like that because people say that shit and you don't be, let's be real, you don't be understanding what the fuck they saying. Like, you are not your thoughts and you just sitting there clueless. Cause that's how I fucking be. Like, nigga, what? Like when you've been training it like your whole life and then like you get to a point when they're saying, oh, you're not the, it take a while to like register, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a better way I could say it is like you just, I'm not gonna, cause the mind by default is already looking at what is not. So it don't really pick up on like, cause the mind and the ego is like together. So they're not, the mind, anyways, but that's a good example though. But I feel like the mind, that shit threw me off low key. You see, like this is a great example. I'm happy that this shit happened on video. My mind will look at certain shit like, oh, this shit is happening to you. But I feel like the observer is like, it's just happening. Like, we just watching it happen. Like, it's not really nothing, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, I used to say this shit a while back. I still believe in it though. Like, you got death, right? Death in life. I feel like everybody that's scared of death die first. People that don't really give a fuck about dying will last the longest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, a while back, I had, I guess what you could call like an out-of-body lucid dream experience. But I died though, in it. I died here and I died there, twice. Well, once, but it was two different lives, so twice, right? But let me tell you, you might call me crazy, but I know I died though. I know, I felt it. I felt everything like shutting down. Like, I was in like this laboratory and it was like animals mixed with different animals and shit. And I, something like fucking stung the fuck out of my ass where I was at. And like, it was poisonous. It was killing me. And they had a lady on the intercom. It was like this weird ass laboratory with these weird ass animals that was mixed with other animals. It's like I got bit by like a snake rat. It was like a snake body with like a rat head. It was weird. And like the lady on the intercom, she was letting me know like my shit was shutting down, and she was saying on the intercom like as it was shutting down like, oh, you're beginning to lose this, you're beginning to lose feeling of that. As she was saying it was happening, right? It was happening. So I got to this like real dark state, and like it was like pitch black, but like I still felt something. Like I felt like, I guess you would call that shit the soul. I felt that, and like I still had the soul though, you know? And the soul got its own separate thoughts, but its own separate doings. So like I got into that dark state and I was like, you know, I'm not even gonna fight this shit. If I die right now, it happens, right? That's why I was at, when I said, as soon as I said that shit, I went back to life like this. I got back. It was like, and it was from that point forward, I was never really scared of death. But that point, I was like, the fear of death, like that shit went out of the window with me. Cause I really sat there and died in another part and here too. And I accepted that shit. Like I was cool with it. I was like, I did this, I did that. I was like cool with it. And then it was the feeling of acceptance that I was like, I was done. I was cool with it. I came back. But I'm, you know, it's not like I restarted. Like I came back to life. You know what I'm saying? Where I was at, you know? But it's like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like just the soul itself, it looks at shit differently. It don't look at shit like really with thought. It just looks. All the observer really does is just look. That's the only thing it really does. But I'm gonna say try that shit, man. Try this shit out. See what you think about it. It's really cool experience, and there's a lot of different pockets in this shit. Like you could you could discover a lot of trails in your mental with this shit. Like you could really see like why your mind thinks the way it thinks. It's like the weirdest thing ever. But I just wanted to talk about that, clear that shit up today. Feel like making a YouTube video and shit, so I'm here. But it's Sunday. Thanks today the 4th. Well, y'all have a good day. About to go home. Relax. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Might do another one today, might not. We'll see how I feel.